Hey guys, Xmaster here, and the stream today was insane, and check that out on my channel if you already haven't. But right now I'll be going into the Raise Lighter, which is an exotic sword coming to Destiny with the Taken King expansion. Now just take a look at this. This just looks so amazing. The description reads, "With your own hands you forged the mighty Raise Lighter. Now take it in hand and feed it flames." So that basically tells us that you forged these swords. Now 310 attack, and you get to see the stats of it. It's the speed is how fast you strike, impact is how much damage each strike will do, range is I guess the amount, like how far you will charge up with that charged up shot that you see in the stream. Efficiency is the energy lost when landing attacks with this weapon. And defense is how much you will stop incoming damage. And energy is ammo capacity. As you can see, energy is actually going up when he is on that scabbard perk. That was a little tricky spot to get the scabbard perk, but we did not get to see the last perk, unfortunately. But let's basically start. We get infuse, so you can infuse swords, so that you'll have to get others higher attack swords to infuse this sword, so that might be a little bit difficult depending on how many swords are actually coming in the game. Tempered light, increased armor when wielding the sword, which is awesome, just because you have to go up close to people, so you'll have to have more armor. Thrive by the sword, kills with the sword grants super energy. Phoenix uppercut, use R2 to launch into a solar light uppercut. Warrior of light, increased damage for your R2 attack. And scabbard, which increases sword ammo capacity, so that's a good perk. Now moving on, we get gameplay of the sword, and it's really cool. We get the uppercut here, and it did a lot of damage, and the swords look really cool. There was actually solar arc and void, and so it says you need to craft them, so it might be that you need to craft them and you have this elemental ingredient that will allow you to craft different elemental types. You might be able to switch using something, but I don't think that would probably be a really rare ingredient. But I think you get to craft the elemental is your choice on it, which is really cool. But yeah, we will have other swords as well that legendary swords I don't think will be crafted, but I think you will have to have like a legendary sword that will be going into crafting recipe of this exotic sword. Now Bungie did say that there are different versions of this sword, which is cool. So what they exactly said is this is the exotic version of the sword, and it's solar. Here's what he said.
I'm showing the sword.
Yes. So this is one of many swords in the game. Obviously, this is an exotic version of the sword. It's a solar attack, and you can see from the fiction at the top.
That's what I was talking about. And these two like permanent always there perks, the perks that are there from before, I think those are exotic perks, because Bungie did say that the exotic weapons will be having their perks unlocked as soon as you unlock them. So one of them is probably an exotic perk, another one is probably a perk that's always on swords. I'm not sure though. Now they did say that you will have to craft, like you will have to get them, you get your hands on them. You cannot buy them and you cannot earn them from the world. You will have to like make them, as the description says. And if you take a look at the sword, it seems like you need to get the base sword, you need to get the blade and the handle, which might be one part, and then that crystal is probably what you need to collect and craft with the blade to make the sword. And you will probably get different elemental types of the. In a cutscene, we actually did get to see this being held up by Eris. So the new weapon type, the new heavy weapon type that Eris found, which was told to us a long time ago, is actually the swords. And she found this crystal you will have to collect and put it into the sword and craft it with whatever other ingredients you need. So this crystal that you're seeing Eris hold up is actually a void crystal. It seems to be void. So then this looks the same as what was in the other sword in the solar version. So I'm guessing that you will get to craft different elemental versions. You can choose which one you want, and I would take the void one because void is the hardest, in my opinion, the rarest elemental to get. It's not rare, but it's the rarest out of all three of them. So yeah, I would take the Void first. Now here is the Void sword on the back of the third person. So there were 3 swords being used. I don't know if they're the exact same one, but one was the solar version of the Raise Lighter, then there was the arc version of whatever sword, then there was an arc sword and a void sword. Now taking a look at this sword, it does seem similar to the Raise Lighter. Now this sword is actually not the Raise Lighter. As you can see, this is a pretty blurry picture because they were moving, but the blade is different. Take a look at the Raise Lighter blade. It has edges in the beginning portion of it. This one does not. Now taking a look at this arc version of the sword, I keep saying version, but that doesn't mean it's the same sword. I'm just trying to say like arc version of a sword This sword does not seem to have those jagged edges, but it might. It's really kind of hard to make it out with that aura, like that arc power energy going around. Same with the Void one, and you know, you have to really it's hard to figure it out, but it might be the same one, it might not be. We'll just have to see when the game actually launches, but these are the 3 swords that were used in the stream. So this is absolutely insane. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for daily Destiny content, and I'll see you next time.